you guys doing? What a wild ride we're on nowadays, huh? What in the world is going on? I guess we all have some ideas as to what's going on, and I won't necessarily list my ideas about what's going on, but I just want to make this video to tell everybody, hey, take a breath, and just relax, and whatever is going to happen, we have to surrender to it. I mean, I know there's like this fear about China and why are so many troops everywhere all of a sudden, and who are they protecting us from, and everybody has different ideas on who they're protecting us from, but something's going on, right? That's not good. So I just want to say this is one of our biggest lessons in trust and surrender in what the universe has planned for humanity, what God has planned for, what the divine will is. Whatever you want to call it, there is some sort of larger force that is wanting to see a certain thing happen or wanting to play a certain thing out in the mass consciousness. And it's really not in our control. What control we do have is that we can make sure that what we're putting into the mass consciousness soup is a good thing, that what we're putting into the mass consciousness soup is a tasty flavor, that what we're putting in the mass consciousness soup is constructive, and that's the only control we really have. And then also control over our individual lives somewhat as to how we're going to handle this, what perspective we're going to look at it from, how we're going to react to the whole thing, how we're going to be in this mass event that our souls have chosen to be part of. This is something that your soul knew was going to happen and volunteered to be part of. And what we have to think about is how we can still be in a place of joy and happiness and peace, even within this angst that the mass consciousness is going through. People who aren't happy about that, take a breath and just relax and just trust that the universe knows what it's doing, and trust that the powers that be know what they're doing, and in spirit know what they're doing, that there's a reason for everything. The election aside, we have a much bigger core problem in humanity, and that is this deep suffering that hasn't been healed. And that's the reason all these things on the outside are happening. That's the reason all these challenges are here for humanity right now, is because we have this really deep core wounding in the mass consciousness of humanity. And what the mass consciousness wants, the mass consciousness gets. You've heard me say this before. There's no two ways about this. So what we need to do is get the mass consciousness asserting what it wants. It doesn't matter politics, the economics, the system, the financial, all of that will straighten itself out by itself if we straighten out what's within our hearts, if we straighten out what's inside. And the mass consciousness has to basically straighten out its heart and mind. And it does that one individual at a time. And you are that one individual who has a job to do. Your healing contributes to the healing of the mass consciousness. And that's what you got to get in. Oh, look who came to say hi. This is my high advisor. This is Zara. Hi, Zara. She wanted to come say hi. Here she comes. Okay. Hi. Now, Zara, you can't just sit right in front of the camera. She always does like to be part of these. I do always have a little bit of a challenge trying to Mwah, yeah, you're so cute. Yes, I love you. Yes, I love you too. Yeah, you're so beautiful. Yes, you are. Oh, now I'm going to get a bath. Mwah. So, so take a breath, relax. You're in God's hands. You're in the hands of the divine. You're in the hands of the universe. You're in the hands of like, trust like Zara does. Trust like little Zara Kitty does. She doesn't have a worry in the world. Her food keeps showing up. Her affection keeps showing up. She keeps getting adored by me. and she has no fears because, life is good. So let it be that way for you too. Have no fear. You're in the hands of the divine. Let your food keep coming. Let your flow keep happening. Let the love keep coming. Just let that part be what's important now. Don't worry about what's happening out in the big world right now. This is all stuff that's out of your control anyway. So surrender. Trust. Got a little bit of cat hair now. But surrender and trust and let yourself be carried. And just relax. And, look at it this way. Okay, what if the world does go to hell in a handbasket, right? What if it all goes down the tubes and, we head into a social, political, economic structure that we don't like or want? Will we survive it? The answer is yes. And even if we don't survive it, nothing ever really dies. You just go on to the next chapter. And I'm going to tell you something. This is the hard place to be. This is the hard place to be. Planet Earth is the difficult part. Out in spirit, or deep within in spirit, it's not actually hard. I mean, if you didn't survive Earth, it's actually like a get out of jail free card. So, but that's not what's going to happen. But let's face the fear if the world just goes to hell and it's not going to be any good. Surrender. That's not in your control. It's not in your control. You can do your part. You can wish for the best. You can put in good input into the mass consciousness. You can hold heaven frequencies right up to the end. That's all that you can do. That's in your control. How you react to, say, the world going to hell in a handbasket. Can you keep your sense of humor through it all? I know this sounds a little bit wacky, but this is the path to sanity. Is that even in the midst of chaos, you are a rock in the stormy sea. Even in the midst of uncertainty, you are certain in your eternal self, in your eternal consciousness. Even in the midst of fear, you actually have excitement. That's the flip side of fear. It's excitement. So don't be afraid anymore. Be excited. And if you're not excited or fearful, then just be at peace. Relax. All right, well, I know there's a lot of chaos in the world right now, so I just wanted to address that, and a lot of people feeling uneasy and uncertain about what's going on, and I just wanted to speak to that for a moment and tell you, maybe your mantra right now should be, I surrender to what is, and I'm at peace in uncertainty. I trust the divine plan. And keep your sense of humor through it all. Peace out.